Okay, I notice
Yeah.
that, you know, you don't wear a lot of collared button-down shirts. Why? Why is that? And how do those shirts feel to you in terms of gender expression?
Well, I would say I used to wear much more in the past, you know, up to, I would say, 10 years ago. I wore actually mostly clothes that have been designed for men, so the typical button-down shirt. So I wouldn't wear, you know, this kind of top. I would orient a little bit the camera here. I wouldn't wear this for like 10 years ago. But it's at that time, you know, I realized, well, I love the clothing that has been designed for women originally. So that's why, you know, I don't say the women's clothing. I don't say the feminine clothing, etc. I say the clothing which has been designed originally for women. So I thought, you know, I mean, I looked at magazines, I looked at fashion shows, etc. So I said, I don't want to be anymore only a spectator. I want to be active. So, well, I just thought, you know, I'll buy myself some things that were designed for women and see how it feels. And that's what I realized, you know, a complete different feeling, different look, different touch, different wear. So pattern, cut, softness, even the names of the colors were so different. So I must say, it opened a completely new horizon and a completely new expression. You know, I quit a bit this kind of a stiff to more supple materials with the patterns and all that. So I thought, well, I like it. And it's only afterwards that I started looking. So what does it mean? Yeah. So I guess, how is it for you? I mean, was it because, I mean, have you also always worn upcycled or things that were designed for men originally? Are you mixing the things, or how do you do that?
Well, I have to say that having been brought up in a pretty traditional business role in my youth, I probably did wear a lot of jackets and skirts and suits to work, a bit like you. But I felt it very restricted. It was me being somebody else, and it didn't feel very good. I wanted, like you, to play. And I couldn't understand really why I could not actually go somewhere, see a lovely pair of well-cut brocade trousers, which they did a lot of in the East for Eastern European men, and get it myself. And I love tailoring, men's tailoring. I find it incredibly exciting, the way it's done and all the different meanings to a jacket. I couldn't understand why I couldn't wear it without making myself feel as if I was, you know, something that, but female. You know, people automatically thought I was male orientated, or was a woman that was more male, and I just thought that's absolutely ridiculous. We're talking, you know, 20th century, 21st century now, and just because I want to wear something and I enjoy it, I don't see why I can't wear it. And I did the same as you. I reflected inwards, and I think I probably did realize that I am very, very feminine as a person. And I think possibly, I have to say, it's something that, you know, I actually wear clothes that are more male orientated per se, because I think it keeps me a bit more restricted, because I'm an artist and I'm everywhere, and if I wear male clothing, I feel it sort of holds me in a bit. So it's a side of, and I am also that side. I do have a business mentality. So I think my clothing is just, as you say, another expression of myself, which I like. But I want that balance of both. I think clothing is perfect for it. Perfect.
You know, I mean, there is an object I should have right at hand. It would be a mirror. You know, you hold to me a mirror, you know, but just the opposite expression of where I came from, you know, because I thought, you know, the first and frankly, these were a couple of questions that have been asked to me, you know. First time I wore a skirt and heels, you know, the questions were like, oh my God, what's happening with you? Are you transitioning? What is going on? So I had to explain a couple of things first. So I'm cis, I'm straight, I'm not transitioning, I'm married with a woman, happily married with a woman, no fake parts, no whatever, my real hair and all of that. So by the way, for you know, if anybody is listening who is on the way to a transition, so I have a full respect and appreciation to somebody, to a man who would be transitioning to a woman, or to a woman transitioning to a man. This is completely out of question. I just say it's not me, right? So because these were the questions that have been asked to me, and frankly, my wife was at the beginning a bit concerned, also saying, you know, well, what's going on with you? You know, this is not the way I knew you. You know, so is there anything? And we had really serious talks about that, because I think it was completely legitimate for her to ask. I don't know, maybe your husband actually. I don't even know if you're married, but I know. Anyway.
I love it. You know something, Stefan, I love it, because that just goes to show that you look at me as Lupe and nothing else. And I love that. I love that, because that's what I am. You know, I'm me. I'm not whatever anybody puts me in a box. But for your own, you know, and everybody else that's wondering, I was married. I'm now divorced. I'm cis female, identify as female for now.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what's going to happen. I have 2 beautiful children. I have no idea what will happen next year. I mean, isn't that the beauty of living?
Yeah.
Love is love, darling.
Yeah, that's and here you open me, so you open me something. I mean, it's true. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, probably if you would ask, or if somebody would have asked me here, you know, about 20 years ago, are you going to be like this, you know, with a makeup or so? I would have thought, well, probably I would not even have thought about that. So I agree. I mean, life is taking us to paths we don't even know. So I like a lot this open mind, and so to come back to the question, I think that's what I discovered. You know, it's the expression of open-mindedness, and coming back to the mirror. You know, I come from basically the other way around from you. I mean, you say from an utterly creative environment, and I come from an environment of numbers. You know, I don't even know if I told you where I work ever. You know, but I work in a finance environment. I'm a finance manager in an industrial company. So let me tell you, basically, most male you would see in such an environment are in a button-down shirt. I guess you know the picture who went
I know it.
around the world. You know, at the CSCE, all the women in the blue suits and the white shirts and the ties. And again, nothing wrong with that, because I am, and it's really something I learned, just to appreciate all the people, the way they want to dress, the way they want to express, the way they are. So I'm not criticizing anything. And by the way, some people also have asked me, you know, but do you expect now that all the men would start to dress like you? I said, no. I have no expectation to other people, except the expectation of tolerance and appreciation. So in other words, my clothing is not changing me. I was Stefan before, I was a man before, and that's still the case. Now, I mean, I don't know you for 10 years, Lupe, but I would say also I know you as Lupe, and that's the thing. I remember clearly, it was never the first thing that I would ask you, because of your haircut, because of whatever, you know, were you always like that? I said, this is not my stuff, you know. I said, this is Lupe,
Exactly.
my dash, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, there's, you know, obviously you wear, you know, the first thing when you see somebody is obviously going to be visual. That's the way we're made, and that's the way it works. But you know, once you get talking and you're following on the gram, of course, or anywhere, you get to know the person. You don't really think, you think about what they're saying now, what they actually transmit, the energy they have, the similarities they have with you and what they're saying. And, you know, the rest doesn't really.
That's it. Yeah, I think that's completely it. You know, this is actually the reason why I changed. You know, I'm not here to make self-publicity, but I just cheat that sentences because it fits well. That's the reason why I changed the name of my account about, I think it was 9 months ago. I started with my name and family name, and then I thought, no, I need to put a message in that. And then I went exactly in what you said. I need to see the person behind the surface, the person behind the appearance. And so then I was thinking, I think it was even below the shower, you know, thinking actually the person who counts. So it's the head who counts. And then I was like, you know, the name was born, you know, the heads count or the head counts, it doesn't matter. And I thought that's it, you know, that's the message. I want to see the person behind the appearance. And I know in my environment, I would say most people I know are dressed, I would say the women dressed in a skirt and the men in the trousers. But I also know, you know, by now things are changing. Also, I would say in a relatively conservative environment, you see people who have tattoos, you see people who have piercings. And also this has been a journey for me, I must say. As a child, in my little conservative France, the few people I heard about, you know, who had tattoos were like, you know, either the people on the boats, you know, the sailors and all that. So, you know, we were a little bit, you know, in our boxes. And I thought it's time to open the box because the world is changing. Because in my conservative environment, I start to see, you know, I start to guess, you know, I met ladies who are, you know, gay with another lady. I met, you know, men who are married, who at some time they openly start to say, oh, by the way, my husband, etc. So I really thought the world's changing. And that's about the time to make it visual, to really empower people to change and to show also their own change. And that's really the thing I discovered. Still, we empower people, but still a lot of people don't yet dare, or they are asking.
Yeah, fear is an issue. Fear is an issue. Also, I do actually think, which is really interesting, is once people understand you, you know, the community you live, even I'm sure in your business, in a way, once they understand where you come from, why you're doing it, and they don't feel threatened in any way or shape or form, they will actually, I believe that people then start not only respecting, but they start protecting you against other people, which I think is fabulous. You know, how many times me as somebody who's obviously older and don't go around hiding any, you know, myself in a way, I've heard people say, oh, look at her, why is she, you know, I mean, really, she should be a bit more acting her age and stuff like that. And I hear, you know, my friends sort of turning around and saying, hey, you know, that's, we know her. She's really cool. You don't know her. You know, so people will defend you once they understand you and don't feel threatened. And I think that applies to everyone. It's just this thing about fear, and as you say, it's to do with fear, not understanding, and feeling threatened by something. Maybe they can't do it, but they'd like to. Once people understand things.
And I think that's a very important point. I think that when we live ourselves, I mean, you live yourself in the sense, you know, you live your hair, you live your as a woman wearing your men's pants. So basically, you empower yourself. Obviously, I think I did the same. One thing I think we shouldn't forget is really to take our environment with us. So one thing is good to feel strong and all that. Say, I will my undercut, I will my heels. But then I agree, we need to take people with us. We need to tell them what's going on. We need to tell them. We need to let them ask critical questions. I think it's really something I discovered, and it's not easy, by the way. You know, when some things are changing, maybe the first time you cut your hair, opening the dialogue with somebody who will maybe not ask you in a gentle manner. People will not, always ask. They will say, "What's that hair?" So like I remember a person I used to know. The first thing he told me when he saw me like that was, "Do you want to stop your career? Do you want to stop your career?" And I was like, wow, I remember the sweat going on my back, because I really got afraid, I must say, because I thought, has he had a point? And then I realized, okay, it's not going to be the only one. Oh, hey, hi, vegan foxy lady. I love what you say. 61 people expect to.
I know, I saw that as well. And I was going to say to her,
another drawer.
I'm on 60, darling. It's the best years ever. I'm
another
there.
drawer. So I think, there's no age to be stylish. There is no age to wear whatever you want. I mean, I have seen that also several times. I don't know if anybody is here from Heyday, but also they place a lot this message, I'm 60, can I still wear a miniskirt? I mean, of course.
God, if you've got the good legs I've seen, Stefan, on a lot of women over 60 and on you, flipping hell, if I had those legs, I would be, I'd be dreadful. I'm lucky I don't.
So, but that's the thing, I think there is, if I think it's not a question of age, if you're a 20-year-old who says, there's no way I'm going to put a heel, I don't like that, I can't walk in it, I don't feel my style, go run flat, that's fine. I mean, run flat, not like a car, run flat heels.
Yeah, no, I know.
I see Elisabetta and Renata applauding also. Love it. So I mean, it's really the point. I think what we say here is really just leave yourself and be open to the question. And I think they're going to be sometimes critical, and take your environment with you, and then where we realize is actually even people then with what we thought would be close to, if we take them, they come with us, at some time they understand what is going on. They understand, first of all, I think, and that's really something I like to say, they understand it's not a circus, right? It's not a theater.
No,
it's authenticity. And I mean, for you, it's probably the same. When you put a man's pant, I mean, it's not a theater, right?
No, not at all. I just love them. I mean, I'm mad about fashion, like you are. I love, I love that expression that we are able to use, as a creative. To me, that's the way I paint my life. I don't know. It's the other side of me that I like to bring, and it's gorgeous, and it's really fun. Also, yes, there is a side, you use it as your creative side to bring out the softness that is in everyone. Maybe men hide it more than others, but with me it's the other way around. I bring it in to show my strong side, to show my strong and logical side, which sometimes is not obvious, but it's there. It is definitely there. So I use my clothes to bring in that. So I think that's, as you say, it's an expression of who we are, and I think that's.
But let me ask you one thing. You see, I mean, when you're a woman and you put yourself a pant and all that and cut short hair, so some people would say you masculinize yourself. You may contradict me, but anyway, some people say you make yourself strong. That's all fine. I think by now most people in society accept when a woman makes herself strong. Now when a man puts a skirt, then I've heard, and you can contradict me, but I've heard, I guess for me, I would say too many times, people saying, you make yourself weak, you make yourself attackable. I'm like, why on earth should a heel or should a skirt be a symbol of weakness on a man if it's not a symbol of weakness on a woman? I don't know. I'd like to hear what you think about that, because I mean,